Okay, we officially start today's daily. Okay. So, I don't got all that much information to be saying, to be completely honest. Like, how do I put this? Okay. As I was saying, like, I really don't have all that much information. What the heck? Why can I not? Oh, well, right in front of my face. But basically, I'm quitting YouTube. No. Nah, I don't know why. That just blopped into my head soon. And it's like, let's just spew it out. So I'm going to be talking about League of Legends just a bit. But it's like in a moment. I'm going to go over like the regular, sleep's fine, no nightmares, no road rage. Oh, but today I did learn how to fill my tires with like tire pressure. I've never really been told nor taught in the past. So one of my tires had like low pressure. So that I like asked my family like, what do I do for this? And then my mother just recently like took me down there and was like, okay, here you go. These are the steps. There you go. You're done. So yeah, you can think that I'm stupid. You can think that, that's a problem that I don't know how to do it. But at the same time, are you going to know anything that you've never been taught to do? Like, I knew that there were, like the little, like, areas where you fill it. I just didn't really know whether it was as simple as shove the darn thing in, click the button. I didn't know how, like, what the pressure it needed to be because each mine were, like, 3.3, something like that. And so on and so forth. So yeah, I really didn't know of like how to find out what the pressure needed to be and all that hubbub. So, like whatever. And it's the first time I've ever actually had to do that. I've had this car for a good 2 years and I have never once needed to change tire pressure till now. So, yeah. So now what I want to do talking about with League of Legends is just how it's really, really angering me right now. In the sense of balance, which I know I'm always complaining about, like the balance department and how can you possibly make Irelia this strong and Swain this strong, and then what I'm talking about today is just the difference between the things they do. Such as, I understand how, like, every game is going to have this problem, and I don't think it's ever going to be, like, 100% fixed. But what really angers me is the difference between, like, classes and so on and so forth. Such as, bruisers, more specifically bruisers. Such as some bruisers can just 1v9 a team, and other bruisers are completely useless. Like, and how there's just like a spectrum of what's really good, what's like viable but not really that good, and then what like you cannot play unless you want to lose. And it's very aggravating to me because one of my mains, or one of my old mains that I would like to main again because I really enjoy the champion, I want to win the gosh darn game. One of my mains would be whatever his Rek'Sai, whatever her name is, Rek'Sai, which she was originally a tank that could do a reasonable amount. She was like tank then bruiser second, but now she's bruiser then tank second. and it just does not work. She's awful, honestly. Right now, she can't sustain a fight. She can't do enough damage to just kill someone. She can't be... She is in the, like, not capable... Like, is capable of winning, but not likely at all. And then you have stinking champions like Irelia, who's overpowered right now. Like, let's just stinking compare the two. Like, Irelia, who... Oh, nope. Who has a mobility ability, who also allows her to gain back HP that procs on hit effects. A damage reduction. That was a bright idea. That also allows her to... Also allows her to just do some damage, even if it's only a little, it's still some damage. And a large AoE stinking stun that you cannot flip and dodge. By the way, dodging, it like... You need to realize what I mean by dodge, because I don't just mean like move out the gosh darn way. Like you cannot dodge the skill. You either she misplaces it, and that's it. You cannot simply just say, "Hey, I dodged this." It's too big to stinking dodge, and it's just ridiculous. Nice. So she has a alt which slows you twice, and a stinking that also disarms you. And then you want to look at let's look at Rek'Sai, the other half of the spectrum. You have a champion who we have Rek'Sai, whose only sustain is through her passive, meaning it's not sustainable at all in an actual fight. It's only sustain in jungle and nothing else. She has a single person knockup that... Exactly that. It can only knock up a singular person, so it's really not all that useful. When, you know, Irelia gets a stun that can stun multiple people. She has an attack speed boost that, okay, that makes it slightly AoE. And I swear that the AoE did more damage when she was a tank than when it does now. And I don't know whether that's from item change or whether that's they actually lowered her Q's damage, which I don't know why you're going to do that when you're going to make her a bruiser. But, and then there is whatever the flip it's called. What the flip? Why didn't I get... So, and then you have a dash, which is a set distance that... What else can I really say about it? Like, it's a set distance that, yes, you can do, like, again and again, sort of, and, like, I mean, like, the fact that it stays in the ground and you're just capable of continuously going over and over it again. This is true. But, like, that alone does not make her dash any more significant than stinking... So, just, like, to me, it's just really, like, really a big question of, like, how? And then her ult, which is sort of a dash. Yes, it gains invulnerability, but it's not like stinking Kane's invulnerability where you just dash out of where the person is. Because in this one, you can actually dodge. You can dodge Rek'Sai ult. You can, not only does she just dash out the distance, she goes a huge distance past you, so all you have to do is walk in the other direction. If you don't finish someone with it, it doesn't matter. It's just... There's such a big difference between them, and that's what makes it just so unplayable to play Rek'Sai, but makes it such a great idea to stinking play Irelia, and that's what I think is a problem. Like, you cannot have such a huge difference between them. And it's just, man, it just really gets on my nerves. Just like the difference between them in these situations. Where just like how you can have a champion that's just so unplayable versus the champs that are just so strong. And like that's the same with like a lot of other things too, like how stinking Fizz it can just 1v stinking 9, and how you have champions like Talon who can barely 1v1 anymore. Or just like assassins and even ADCs. Like, I understand, you know, like just some things are just with the meta as the meta goes on. But at the same time, I want to be like, it doesn't need to be this much of a difference, though. Like, that's just so much of a stinking change. And I don't see the balance in it. Like, as I was saying, like, yes, I understand that some things are just, like, too strong, so on and so forth. But, and as I was saying, like, there is like a meta to everything. I understand that, but at the same time, I think that the indifference between them is just way too much. And that's something that's really getting. Oh my god, I hit the thing twice, not trying to. And it does not need to be the way that it is. And like, I don't see how they come up with these ideas and just go, yeah, this is a completely balanced idea. Minion block. And it's just insane to me. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, but back to what I was saying earlier. It's just something that I don't see. I don't see how it's balanced anymore. Like Syndra. Syndra used to be able to stinkin' just walk over people. And now I don't stinkin' see her at all. Like, among mages ever. Like, now it's so, like, mages especially just seem to never get stinkin' played anymore. Like, I always see just, like, Yasuo or Zed in the mid lane, or just... and it's just annoying to me that... I understand, as I was saying, like, I do understand meta. And I can see things like that happening. I don't think to the degree that they are happening is okay. And I just think that it's too much of a stinking difference, honestly. Like I don't think, and Swain, I know Swain's a mage, but Swain's more of like a bruiser mage. He's meant to sustain, but I don't see the balance in giving him all the sustain in the stinking world. And then other mages are just left to hang. It does not make sense to me how they can just buff one person or just like even a few people to be so strong. What the flip? Why did I not jump? back to what I was saying about the stinking just like why is Rek'Sai? Why does Rek'Sai is such a stinking a bad pick when Irelia just gets all she ever wanted and more? Like I was saying like before, I don't see the balance in giving these champions these capabilities and making other champions have to work so much flipping harder just to be even close to the same level. Like in my mind, it's so far from being even the remote bit balanced. And other lanes like have it too and everything, but like ADCs, I would say they have it, but in like the least level than stinking everyone else. Like when it comes to ADCs, like yes, there's an indifference, but it is nothing compared to all these other lanes. Ah, yes. Go under tower. Ah, yes. Die under tower. Why is Master Yi allowed to move? I thought he should not even be in the sinking game. Like, I don't see the reasoning behind it and how stinking, just like how little mages are stinking played in the mid now, how top is nothing but bruisers anymore, like before tanks used to at least be viable, how bottom, I think like the one lane that like anything is basically viable now is pretty much support. And even ADCs have the indifference a little bit, but like just like support, they're very like anything can still be potentially viable. But like other champions that I play, like Gnar is just not viable anymore. He's too squishy when he's in little Gnar form, and he doesn't do any damage when he's in big Gnar form, which like I kind of agree with but also disagree with at the same time. Like, if you're gonna do anything, just like drop his damage maybe a little bit. Don't just make him useless. Just like drop his damage, give him a little bit more tankiness. He's still a bruiser in general. He's more of like a marksman mixed with a tank, but guess what? That's a bruiser. Like a bruiser is just like an assassin mixed with a stinking fighter. And even in these cases, I don't like how some champions just are not viable at all. Like, stinking Yorick. Yorick got a full-blown rework. He was viable for like a month, maybe. And now you never see him played anymore. And he's like he's barely viable. Yes, he can destroy, but like it is just compared to so many other things, it is completely ridiculous. And even like back to what I was saying earlier, like stinking Diana, who is a bruiser and an assassin at the same flipping time, it like her and I really just have so much mobility with so much kill potential. It's just like, why did you give the survivability to someone that has kill potential? Like, bruisers are supposed to be able to sustain a fight. Okay, I'm okay with Irelia having damage reduction. I'm not okay with damage reduction mixed with a constant dash, with a large AoE stun, with 2 slows and a disarm. All on like separate abilities, while your damage reduction does damage. Same with how I don't agree that Warwick's E, his damage reduction should fear. Like, what? My goodness. If anything, I would say I would give Warwick like increased attack speed while his E is up, or increase movement speed upon like it bursting, something like that. Like not a fear. Like, why give it CC? Why give damage reduction a CC or damage? It is damage reduction for a reason. It is meant to be a survivability, not an attack. And then, like, how, what's her face, as I was saying earlier, how Irelia, she can sustain because of her Q, and she has damage reduction, plus she's capable of stunning a large group, and, you know, slowing twice, plus giving a disarm. When stinking Rek'Sai gets a small attack speed boost that also makes her attacks AoE, okay, that does basically no damage, a survivability through her passive, which does not help at all in a fight. It only helps in sustaining through like lane/jungle. A true damage bite that does no damage. A dash that is a set distance that has a huge cooldown that, yes, you can reuse, but it's not like you're going to reuse it in a small time period. And a knock-up that can only knock up one person. Like, what is the balance of an AoE knock-up versus an AoE stun? Like, yeah, I understand they're both hard CC. Both of them you can't get out of. But, like, her AoE is circle AoE. The other one's AoE is line AoE. Now, technically, you'd honestly think that line is maybe hard to land. But it has more of a potential to get more people. But no! Her AoE is huge. Her line stun is twice its distance. And can stun people miles away. Rek'Sai's, yes, it's a point and click, but yet again, it can only hit one person. And it's only like a second. It's not even a full 2 seconds. It is like a second long. And yet again, like her ult, honestly, Rek'Sai's ult's trash. The execution damage it does is nothing. Yeah, it allows you to just dash to your person, but still. Honestly, the only good thing that they did when they reworked, or not reworked, when they mini reworked her, making her like what she is now, the only good thing they did was make her burrowed Q build off of AD. So now it at least does some damage. Like before, it was just something that you threw out just so you could see people. Honestly, like the only reason you threw it out is to do a little bit of damage to like camps before you actually got to the camp. And if you like saw movement, because when you're burrowed you can't actually see, but you can see in fog of war via movement. Whatever the heck it's called, you'd throw that out there to like hit them, and it would give you vision. That's the only purpose it had before. But now it does somewhat damage. But it's just not enough. She does no damage to be a bruiser. And like they're both in the bruiser class. I agree that they shouldn't be equals, but I disagree that they shouldn't be complete and utterly different. Like I'm not saying, oh, we should make Rek'Sai's E a point and click dash that also gives back HP and procs on hit effects, just like Irelia's Q, and we should give Rek'Sai damage reduction while she's burrowed, and make her W AoE. Like I'm not saying that because like then they are getting too similar. You're just adding stupid amount of things, but I disagree with how separate they are. Okay, but that's all I really wanted to say today. I know it's kind of like talking about a league instead of being like a regular daily, but yeah, I guess like let's just call it the topic of the day. So with that, I am going to be bidding you all adieu. Goodbye.